Alright guys, here we go. Post SummerSlam SmackDown review. Yes, it's a bit late. Yes, it's a bit out of date. But it's here. That is the good news. The bad news is this could be a SmackDown future. A WWE future without Brock Lesnar. I feel without Vince McMahon there anymore, and the fact that Brock had a last man standing match, I'm pretty sure that was to, like, at least storyline wise, write Brock Lesnar out of the WWE, at least for the meantime. I'm not saying he's never going to appear again, but I think there's a very good chance that we won't see Brock Lesnar for the foreseeable future. Maybe even up to WrestleMania, maybe even after WrestleMania. We all know that Brock and Vince have a lot of respect for each other. Vince is no longer there, and I don't know the relationship between Brock and Triple H, but I feel like even if Brock wants to keep wrestling, even if Brock wants to, like, work in under the creative directness of Triple H or whatever, I feel like Triple H might want to go in a different direction. You know, Triple H might not want to rely on Brock Lesnar. He might want to push younger guys, push guys from his beloved NXT. So we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, it's kind of sad to think that we might not get to see Brock Lesnar again. But I guess we'll just have to settle for what we do get. And what we do get is the Bloodline arriving to the arena. Nice to see a backstage shot for once to show them in the car park. The Usos arrive in like some sort of like Jeep SUV sort of car, and then Roman Reigns is in a limo. But there is no Paul Heyman with Roman Reigns, and then the Bloodline make their way into SmackDown. We then get Ricochet laughing at Pat McAfee's video about Happy Corbin. These two have a match. Ricochet beats Happy Corbin. Not a lot to say here. Ricochet's born as fucking, and Corbin's, I don't know, I don't like Corbin. I mean, the Broke gimmick was okay at first, but since he went to Happy, it just lost all momentum. People are actually beginning to feel sorry, I think, for broke-ass Baron Corbin, but yeah, the Happy Corbin isn't really doing it as well. But yeah, Ricochet beat him. Who cares? We got to relive Ronda Rousey snapping at SummerSlam. She's been suspended, so we got to see her beat up a referee. Yeah, just more highlights. Sami Zayn arrived. He wanted to be let into the Usos locker room. He wanted to speak to Roman Reigns, but Usos says that they're busy right now and he needs to come back later. So it is what it is. Then we get Shinsuke Nakamura versus Ludwig Kaiser. If Nakamura wins, he gets to challenge Gunther. And surprise, surprise, Nakamura won with the Shinkasa. So yeah, again, another Triple H guy, another NXT guy getting a big win. You can clearly see here that Triple H is, I mean, Ricochet beats Happy Corbin, Nakamura beats Ludwig Kaiser. You can see the direction that they're going in. Then we get Sami Zayn again. He wants to acknowledge Roman Reigns. The Usos will not let him in. The Usos say that Paul Heyman isn't here. They don't know when he'll be back. So the Usos want Sami Zayn to carry out the duties of Paul Heyman. They ask him to go to the production truck and make sure the graphics are okay, make sure the entrance is okay, make sure everything is okay. And I liked how they did several segments throughout the show as well. It was good to see Sami Zayn interact with the Bloodline rather than it just be a one and done. They need to do this more often. Then we get, Liv Morgan comes out, talks about how she won the title. The fans were booing her. She was cutting a fucking horrendous promo. This was so bad, and I'm going to do 10 reasons why Liv Morgan sucks, so stay tuned for that, because she definitely does. She says the reason she tapped out is because the title means everything to her, and she believed she'd already gotten the free count by the time she tapped out. But I mean, she tapped out like before the ref even counted for two. So honestly, I mean, just bullshit for Liv Morgan here. The fans were booing her as well, so looks like the fans have had enough. I mean, Liv Morgan should never have been champion in the first place, and you can just tell this title run is an absolute failure. She is the worst person in WWE on the mic, hands down. I think, along with Bianca Belair, I cannot think of anyone worse. Sonya Deville comes out, says it's embarrassing that Liv's a champion, says that she enjoyed Ronda Rousey beating up Liv Morgan, and Sonya wants to be the new champion. Then we get the gauntlet match. Kicks off with Sonya Deville versus Aaliyah, whatever she's called. Sonya beats Aaliyah. Then it's out next is Raquel Gonzalez, and Raquel Gonzalez goes through the entire gauntlet. She gets right to the end. She beats Sonya Deville. She beats Shotzi Blackheart. She beats Shia Lee. She beats boring Botox Natalia. And then in the end, it's Shayna Baszler comes out. They have a battle. Shayna Baszler chokes her out. Raquel Gonzalez rolls through, tries to get a roll up, but again Shayna Baszler just rolls Raquel Gonzalez up, and the whole gimmick is she's choked her out. She's not got much gas left in the tank, and with gas prices these days, it's fucking hard to put gas in the tank. And then Shayna, beats Raquel. So yeah, beats her with a pinfall rather than tapping out. So Shayna Baszler is going to clash at the castle. And again, you could see this coming. Like, Shayna Baszler's like similar to Ronda Rousey in terms of style, so maybe they'll do something similar to that. Liv Morgan beat Ronda. Maybe she will have a similar sort of finish with Shayna Baszler, and it could set up a triple threat down the line or something. Who knows? Who fucking cares at this stage? I mean, who cares? Liv Morgan sucks. Then we get Sami Zayn back at the Usos locker room. They won't let him in to see Roman Reigns. He's not happy. And then one of the Usos just cracks up at him and goes, at SummerSlam, they pulled everything out. Roman Reigns got 2 titles, they've got 4 titles. Sami Zayn has 0 titles. They tell him to start pulling his weight, or they're going to take the bloodline shirt off him. So this gets Sami thinking. I don't know, what's he going to do? Is he going to challenge Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship? Is he going to fucking cut his nuts off and challenge Liv Morgan for the women's title? What's Sami Zayn going to do? But I guess it'll be interesting to see. I guess we'll find out next week. Then we got Jim Mulkey and Tommy Gibson versus the Viking Raiders. I mean, the Viking Raiders have been back for months now, beating up teams, being dominant, and now they're facing 2 fucking local guys. I mean, they're just going backwards. You're supposed to start off with the local guys, then you work your way up to the teams on the main roster. Now that they've beat every team on the main roster, they're working back to local guys. I mean, it makes no sense. Then Kofi challenges Eric, and he beats him with a roll-up. So the Viking Raiders have been like unstoppable. 2-on-2 tag team match in a fair matchup. They can't lose. But then Kofi Kingston's on his own. He takes on Eric, who's got Ivar at ringside. So it's technically 2-on-1, and then Kofi wins. Again, just from a logical standpoint, it's not logical at all. Makes fucking 0 sense. Don't know why that happened. But yeah, Kofi Kingston now has a pinfall over Eric. But unfortunately for him, both his tag team partners are fucked. Big E's got a broken neck, and Xavier Woods is out injured, so I think he's got like a knee issue or something like that. So I don't know, is Kofi Kingston going to find a new tag team partner? Maybe. Then we move into the Bloodline. Roman Reigns is saying that he respects Brock Lesnar. He hates Brock Lesnar, but not because of what you think, because he tried to kill the wise man. I tell you what, I thought he did kill Heyman when he F5'd him through the table, so fair play. Roman Reigns says that the wise man is in hospital, because that's what happens when you get F5'd through a table. He doesn't know when the wise man will be back. He wants the Bloodline and the crowd to show their appreciation for the wise man. Then Drew McIntyre comes out, says that if anybody wants him to, smash the Bloodline, scream for him. Scream for me, baby. The crowd attempt to scream. And then the lights go out, it starts going grey, there's like smoke. And then out of nowhere, Karrion Kross, here's the big return, the big surprise. Karrion Kross comes out, starts beating up Drew McIntyre, starts slamming his head into the steel steps, and then hits him with like a forearm on the floor. He lays out Drew, then Scarlet Bordeaux comes out with like a sand timer, places it in the ring, flips it upside down, then the sand of time starts dropping down, the hourglass as they call it, and that was supposed to signal the end of Roman Reigns' Universal title reign, even though Drew McIntyre's the guy with the shot. So it'll be interesting to see what they do here. I mean, I like Scarlet Bordeaux, but I just think she's wasted with Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross is going fucking nowhere. He's got a cool entrance, don't get me wrong, but after the entrance, he's got nothing. He's bland. There's no real character behind him. He's a guy who's supposedly, evil and sadistic, but we don't really get to see that when he gets in the ring. He's just another jobber in wrestling tights. So yeah, I don't know. I don't see what's going to happen with Karrion Kross. I'd rather see Scarlet Bordeaux on her own. I think she could offer the product as her smoke show gimmick. I think she could bring so much to the women's division. Someone that can actually talk and entertain, which is what the women's division needs, especially if they're going back to TV 14. you know, bring back the smoke show, Scarlet Bordeaux, but no, they're going to give you Karrion Kross, who nobody cares about. So yeah, that's it. Karrion Kross, another Triple H guy. I mean, you can just see this entire show. You know, you got Raquel Rodriguez, an NXT person, doing incredibly well in the gauntlet, but then the gauntlet's finally won by Shayna Baszler, an NXT person. You had Ricochet beating Happy Corbin, an NXT person. You had Nakamura beating Ludwig Kaiser, an NXT person. It's full of fucking NXT, and Triple H is putting those guys over. And then obviously the big return is Karrion Kross, who was, you know, a dominant NXT champion and one of Triple H's favourite guys. So yeah, guys, SmackDown, I mean, it was alright. I enjoyed the Bloodline Sami Zayn segments. The women's gauntlet match wasn't awful. It was okay. It was decent. But apart from that, I mean, Ricochet, Corbin, didn't care for anything involving the Viking Raiders. Don't care for it. The main event segment was okay. I'm not going to completely hate on it. I mean, it was alright. I mean, Karrion Kross, you know, smashing Drew's head into the steps. It was okay. You know, the visual of like Scarlet Bordeaux with the sand at hour clock, you know, it was okay. It was decent. Overall, I mean, I'll give SmackDown I don't know, what do we give it, man? I'll give it a 3 out of 10. Yeah, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 10. I mean, it wasn't bad. Gauntlet just took up way too much time. Then there was just matches that I just didn't feel were relevant. Ricochet, Corbin, don't want to see it. Kofi versus Eric, don't want to see it. Viking Raiders versus the Jobbers, don't want to see it. Kaiser versus Nakamura, we already knew Nakamura was going to win, we've already seen it, so like, what was the point? You know, it just felt like a very, very weak SmackDown, apart from the Bloodline segments in the Gauntlet match, and obviously, yeah, the main event. So that's it, guys. I'm going to give it 3 out of 10. Let us know what you thought down below. Sorry for it being late and out of date. I'll try and get it to you on time next time. And that is it. Next up, we have Rampage, and then we're back to Monday Night Raw. So yeah, till next time, guys. Been Fog Wrestling. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you later. Peace.